Hi, I'm Annette Schmidt, the 2018 Vice President of Communications for the Tellico Village Homeowners Association. And we are here today with our next edition of Highlights and Happenings from the HOA. And joining me will be Mark Kovar, the current HOA Loudoun County Government Liaison. And Mark is going to be sharing important information about two topics that will be of interest to our Tellico Village homeowners. The first topic that Mark is going to address is the Advanced Metering Infrastructure, or AMI upgrades, that are going to be coming to Tellico Village by Loudoun County Utilities. And our second topic today will be the upcoming HOA Neighborhood Watch Coffee with a Cop. And that is going to be scheduled for Thursday, September 13th at the Tellico Pavilion from 8:30 to 10. So Mark, before we jump into the details of our topics, could you just share a little bit about what your position is as government liaison for the HOA?
Sure. The government agencies we interact with on behalf of the HOA are the County Commission, which is responsible for all the services and projects and budgets within the county. They meet twice a month, one to review projects and pending budgets, and then also later in the month to meet at the board meeting and vote on resolutions, new projects, budget changes, and things of that nature. And the second part of my role is involved with meeting with the Loudoun Utilities Board. They provide electrical services to the village, similar type of format. They meet once a month to discuss projects and services, and then they have a board meeting later in the month to vote on service changes, projects, and budget approvals.
Keeps you busy for sure. And now let's talk about how those new meters are going to be installed. And I've heard that the process from installation to operation is going to be fairly seamless. It's going to be a simple process. Can you describe that process to us?
Sure. There's three main components involved with the new metering system. That is, first, the meter itself. It's a digital meter, a smart meter. That's AMI. And then the communications network, which allows for the secure communications from the meter back to the home office systems and home office personnel. And the third important component is those back office systems and those operations people who have access to the information flowing from the meters back to the back office. And the important aspects of the back office feature is the billing will be a lot more accurate and up to date because they're catching it real time. And then secondly, they'll have the ability to view how electric services are running and also have visibility to any disruptions in a neighborhood or in a particular home.
That will be very timely. I think everyone will appreciate that. And I think there are some conveniences that we might look forward to with these new meters. Could you explain those, Mark?
Sure. The first important convenience is the fact that personnel will no longer need to enter your property to read the meters. That'll be done automatically and through the smart meters. Secondly, the billing process will be a lot more accurate in terms of how that information from the meter flows into their billing system. And then thirdly, as we mentioned, it'll have the ability to detect disruptions. And I also want to add that the good news for us in Tellico Village is they've already been through an alpha and a beta test. So everything is up and operational, and it's just a matter of installing the new meters in Tellico and adding those additional households to their system.
And I don't think anyone's going to argue with more convenience, accuracy, efficiency, faster response times. Those are all great things, Mark. And I also know that you did post something on the website, the HOATV.org website. It was a great schematic that you've just described. So I encourage our viewers, if they're interested in looking at that a little more closely, to go on the website and view that. I also would like you to tell us a little bit, when is this process going to start?
Sure. So these installations are scheduled to begin here in September and carry through October and maybe a little into November. But the installations begin in September.
Okay.
And what will happen is the Loudoun Utilities Board will contact the neighborhood and the homeowners and let them know of the installation schedule. Installations crews will be dispatched. It'll be easy to spot in terms of they'll be driving Loudoun Utility Board vehicles. They'll have on Loudoun Utility uniforms and ID badges, and you'll receive advance notification of them being in your neighborhood and installing the meters in your home.
And can we expect any type of disruption during this installation period?
So it'll be a very brief interruption. So what will happen is they'll remove the old meter, install the new meter, and typically it's about a 15-minute installation process. So you may see about a 15-minute interruption of your electrical service, but that's pretty much the average.
All right, so the meters are coming, the meters are coming. Let's all get ready. And we have another topic to discuss, Mark, and that is the upcoming HOA Neighborhood Watch Coffee with a Cop. And that is scheduled for Thursday, September the 13th, 8:30 to 10 a.m. And that's going to take place. Originally, we had the venue scheduled at the Tenacity Grill, but we have moved that venue to the Tellico Pavilion. And it's still going to be September 13th, 8:30 to 10. And let me say that our Neighborhood Watch program is really headed up by our chair, Ken Leitke. And Ken has organized this Coffee with a Cop, but unfortunately he's traveling out of the country right now. So we have Mark Kovar here with us telling a little bit more about what the Neighborhood Watch program is and a little bit more about Coffee with a Cop. So Mark, can you just give us some background on what the Neighborhood Watch program really is?
Sure. Neighborhood Watch is an organization and program that's sponsored by the Homeowners Association. And simply put, what it is neighbors watching out for other neighbors in Tellico Village. It's a crime prevention program, a safety program, built on education and awareness. And so if you see some suspicious activity in your neighborhood, it just informs you who to contact to investigate certain suspicious activities you may see in your neighborhood. The other important thing that it does too is when you're away from your home is it also offers an opportunity for you to let people know, the COPS program know, that you'll be absent from your home, and they'll be able to do safety checks on your home while you're on vacation or away from the village for a period of time.
And you mentioned COPS, and that stands for Citizens on Parole, and that's when we see those citizens on patrol, and that's when we see the sheriff cars that are going through the neighborhood making sure that everything is safe and secure. I also want to ask you, Mark, what are some of the key deliverables for the Neighborhood Watch program?
Well, one of the main things that working with our county police department, what we do is we track all the crime and incident reports and accident reports with the sheriff's department, so we can see how those incidents are trending over a period of time, and also tracking the information from the Tellico Village Fire Department in terms of fire responses, EMS responses, and things of that nature, to just see how information is trending for Tellico Village. And it fosters a close interaction with the police department and our Tellico Village Fire Department to keep everything safe and safer in the village.
And I think there's also an element of that where they share information about scams that they may be hearing that are occurring in the neighborhood. And also, I quite frankly, listening to you talk, it really just sounds like a great educational opportunity to get involved and start reading the analytics on the Neighborhood Watch program and that sort of thing.
Right. The main thing we'll see for Tellico Village is our crime rate is pretty low. As you mentioned, information about scams is beneficial. And the other thing that's really important is to build a strong relationship with the police department so that as they embark on new programs, we can roll those out quickly and effectively. And then also, if we see any concerns or issues in the village, we can usually, they'll put a new program in place and some new procedures in place to mitigate those kinds of risks and incidents to Tellico Village.
Excellent. Let's talk a little bit specifically now about Coffee with a Cop that's coming up. And it sounds like a great educational opportunity, but also relationship building. So tell us a little bit about what is this Coffee with a Cop?
So with Coffee with a Cop, what we do is the county sheriff is present and members of his staff, his deputy and some of his patrol officers are present. It's an opportunity to meet with them, and they share with you how they operate, how they prioritize calls, how they manage calls on a daily basis, and how they close them out, how they dispatch personnel, and how they close out those calls. The other thing that they do is want to receive calls from Tellico Village residents of any concerns or issues that they may have, and see how they, what suggestions or improvements they have for safety programs within the village.
And how do folks get information about Neighborhood Watch?
Neighborhood Watch, whenever a homeowner joins the HOA, they're automatically enrolled in the program. So that's a very significant benefit that people should take advantage of. Join a HOA, you're enrolled automatically in Neighborhood Watch.
Great. It couldn't be any easier than just joining the HOA and have that as one of the side benefits. That sounds great. And it's frankly just another important service from the Homeowners Association in being your voice in the village and providing opportunities for our residents to be engaged, be informed, and be heard. So in addition to the upcoming Coffee with the Cop September the 13th at the Tellico Pavilion, I want to also highlight the next HOA social. Our socials are always the second Tuesday of every month, and in September it will be September 11th at the Yacht Club, 5 to 6:30 p.m. And we also have another general meeting taking place on Thursday, September the 20th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Community Church of Tellico Village. Ellen Fox, our Vice President of Programs, has arranged another stellar program that is going to include presentations from TDOT on the resurfacing of Tellico Parkway, and also an update on the intersection building that's going on between Highway 321 and Highway 11. I think there's going to be a lot of interest in coming to hear about that. There will also be a brief update on the 5-star independent living project that's taking place in the neighborhood, and a presentation on Stay in Tellico Village respite program. And then our friends from the Tellico Village Broadcasting are going to come and talk about the great resource we have here in the village with Tellico Village Broadcasting. So lots of good information and happenings going on in the village. So mark your calendars, and of course if you want additional information, it's always available on our website, www.hoatv.org. And you can find out more information as well on Tellico Life. So Mark, I want to thank you for coming today, standing in for Ken Leitke. He owes us one, doesn't he?
Great to be here. Thanks.
And I'm so glad you were here. It's much appreciated. And I also want to say a special thanks to our crew at Tellico Village Broadcasting. And so Mark, until the next time, go out, enjoy the sunshine.